Hi, I'm Jenny Jewell, retired emergency dispatcher. Welcome to Call Autopsy, where we listen to a 911 call and I help you break it down. This one comes from Indiana, Lauderdale County, and this is the end of a pursuit of a jailbreak criminal and the person who broke them out, who was a family member that worked for the prison system. This actually ends several states away, so it started in Alabama and it ends in Indiana. And we're going to break this down as we listen to it because it's a little bit of a longer call. So let's go ahead and get this going.
Amazon Island. 911.
Okay, so they're trying to get an answer up here. Their answer up was Lauderdale 911 is what he said, but he's not getting response from the caller. So this may not be an intentional call, which I don't think it was. Either the car called or the phone was jarred in accident mode. Okay, so we have a female voice and airbag, so you're going to want to put that in the notes there.
Hello?
Airbags are going on. Let's get out and run.
Okay, so she's saying, Casey, get out and run, or something to that effect. So, and the airbags, of course, going off. You're going to want to write down everything that they say.
Hotel.
So, I don't know if this is when the person who technically is the caller self-terminates. It sounds like this is when they self-terminate, because they do self-terminate right after the family member leaves, or they're gone. And they were reobtained.
Hello?
Okay, so yeah, they're still trying to call receiver's still trying to get an answer from the caller, but there's a lot of stuff going on there. But I do think that last cry that she makes was after the self-termination. Now, like I was saying before in other calls, the sound of a gunshot is completely different when you're on a phone and there's other sounds going on. It's really, I can't drive that home far enough. Something that sounds like banging on a door could be mistaken for gunfire. All kinds of things can be mistaken for gunfire, but they're just noises. And also the same can happen with gunfire. It can sound like another noise. It could just not sound like the way you expect it. But right now we have silence, so we know that's after the termination. And we're going to hear the sirens here of the arriving pursuit. And this does tie up the call receiver, but this is an important call. So them sitting with the hotline is still, important and required. And it's for the safety of the officers that we do this too, or that if you're aspiring call receiver, you'd want to do. All right, so we have the responder showing up, and he's saying there's a gun in her hand, there's a gun in her hand. This is a big response. Multi-jurisdictional.
She's got her finger on the trigger.
And that's important, guys. So if you hear, police officers at the scene with what they're saying for documenting evidence. If you hear them saying things that are evidence, put that in the notes too.
I don't know how we're going to get that other. Got her finger on the trigger. Finger
Okay, so now he's explaining to the other people arriving.
on the trigger.
And this is actually one of those times where it's really good not to be not to talk. So if you're the call receiver and you're trying to document the call with how things are coming in, not talking is not a bad thing, is because you already know your officers are there.
In her right hand.
Okay, and documenting, put in their right hand. All the stuff that you're hearing should be get put in the notes.
Yeah, get her hand, finger on the trigger. You got a finger on the trigger. The front window's gone. Or no, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah, don't talk out your butt.
I got her.
So when he says he got her, I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know if they're seatbelt cutting or trying to break stuff loose. But when they actually start to break stuff loose, you can hear it.
I'd like to move that off her face. I can't even tell if she's conscious. Somebody got a long stick.
And what they're talking about is moving the airbags off of her face.
She doesn't look conscious. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what they determined is she is not conscious.
Okay, that went on her head.
All right, so guys in the field, be professional. The windshield parts falling on her head is not funny. Just putting that out there.
Can you hook that back? It looks like an exit on the top of her head.
And that's important. You want to put that in the documentation too, is that at the scene, they witnessed that the exit wound for the self-termination is the top of the head, which is pretty standard for a self-termination, actually.
Her finger went on the trigger. You could hook the gun out of her hand. She could pull
Yeah, so they're trying to find a way to safely get the gun out. They work it out.
that trigger again. It's just diagonal breathing. She's done.
All right, so they're bag breathing her. Just what they do, I would imagine. I don't know if she's beyond help at this point, but
Yeah, I'm good.
police can't determine that, by the way.
Her finger's on the trigger.
All right, so I'll share with you a little bit, having worked both sides with PD and medical. Police are not allowed to declare a death. They just can't. They're not qualified to say whether someone's alive or not unless they're really, really gone. So, like, if somebody is in parts, they're obviously no longer alive, right? So, with this, they've got to try and treat the person like they're still alive until somebody like the EMS can show up and determine, where they're at, get them to the hospital, things like that. All right, so in the background, he's talking about the fire department taking her out, like, as in removing her from the vehicle.
The gun is pointing at an angle that way. Pointed down.
And now they got to work out getting the gun out of the scene because EMS cannot respond if the gun is present. So PD needs to get the gun out of the car.
I'm going to go for the gun first. I'm not covered. Okay, I'm going to go for the gun. Watch it. Gun's out of her hand.
Okay, cool. So this is where they actually work with whatever tool that they were using to get the gun out of the car.
It's out of her head. Grab the gun. You reach over and get it. I'm going to grab it. Let me in a little bit. All right, pull me out. Yeah, I got it. All right. Scene safe. You hear me pull her out? Yeah.
All right, so we have scene safe, which is great. So now that means that EMS can come in.
Somebody pull me.
All right, so the rest we don't have because it's just extradition, extraditing, extricating the body from the vehicle, things like that. But yeah, what happened is that Vicky White was working for the same prison that Casey White was in and broke them out. And so they fled from Alabama. The pursuit ended in Indiana with this crash. And they did reobtain Casey White, but Vicky White self-terminated in the car. So, yeah, sad stuff, man. But multi-jurisdictional, a lot of activity on that one. And not all 911 calls are you talking to people. Sometimes it's situations like this where just for officer safety, you need to keep a hotline going so that you can respond to whatever happens at the scene. So, yeah, it helps the dispatcher that you're working with. It also helps the lawyers, the courts for the cases that come up, because evidence is important. But with that, guys, a little bit of a different call. Thank you for listening. Please take care. Stay safe. And until next time, don't be naughty. Bye-bye.